Good morning, everyone. Just a quick sort of reminder or positioning of where this session sits. So it's one of a number of sessions brought to you by Brandwin Business Support on behalf of Brent Borough Council to help SMEs in the borough actively engage in the local supply chain and to help them submit bids to council procurement, construction projects, large private sector buyers and suppliers, and open up those commercial opportunities. So these sessions obviously online, they're stored on Brandwin's YouTube channel, and you can find them and of course register for the programme at the Brent Council website or at fittobid.co.uk. Okay, so listen, we better crack on, got a ton to get through today. So my understanding is you're here today to learn how to develop products and services that people, and specifically procurement people in large organisations, both public and private sector, want to buy. So winning you more contracts. Now the key is, and it was in the email flyer, which is large buyers don't always want to buy what you sell. They want to buy what they need to get their jobs done. So we're going to unpick that construct during the course of the next 55 minutes or so. Right, our agenda today, we're going to cover sort of three sections. One is this notion of the value proposition, and we use a tool called the Value Proposition Canvas. We'll then talk about sales enablement, how we link your proposition and your marketing to get sales over the line. And then we'll talk a bit more just about the Supplier Ready program and how that all fits together. So some quick caveats. We've got minutes here rather than hours, so I'm going to go at quite a pace. I always say I talk quickly, your job is to listen quickly. Do ask questions at any stage. The chat is open. There will be moments where we pause and just take a minute or two to run some exercises. So be ready for those. My suggestion is that there will be things that don't make sense first time round. This webinar is always available. Go find it online, rewind it, and potentially also have a look at the value proposition design textbook, if you like, that comes out of the Strategizer series. So key moment really is, in terms of this program, is looking towards the end of March and the Community Wealth Building Summit and Meet the Buyer event at Brent Civic Centre. Now that's on the 20th of March. It's going to be a fantastic event. I think we've got over 100 registrations already. I'll touch on that in just a minute. So a little bit about me. I've been in this phase for a while, advising SMEs, but actually been involved in growing businesses my entire professional career. So I like to use an external perspective, typically the investor or the buyer, or sometimes that's the employee actually, to help SMEs and SME owners understand how to shape their offer to each of those markets. And I work with Brandwin across South London. Brandwin itself is a business that's worked for over 15 years, collaborating with all kinds of councils and chambers of commerce, helping them link their policy goals to generate more wealth and more growth, more community value, and linking them to the SMEs to get that delivered and give you tools that you can use and leverage to win more business. Brandwin has its own Fit to Bid methodology, which runs through in 5 stages. This is around the bidding skills and sales enablement, that middle section. The Meet the Buyer event is what all this preparation really is geared up for. And as I say, 20th of March, it's going to be some phenomenal potential purchasers. The services are there. Heathrow, NHS Northwest, HS2, the Old Oak Common Redevelopment Partnership. So please do get there. Go and register on the Brent website. I know from my own experience in Wandsworth how powerful these is. They always get fantastic feedback from the SMEs there. They get to meet real people rather than an email address or a LinkedIn persona. They start up conversations, and there's great networking with other SMEs. So please, 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 if nothing else you take from this webinar is go to the Brent website and sign up for this Community Wealth Building Summit. It's a really, really powerful event for you. Okay, right. That's the preliminaries done. We're going to dive in now to some of the some of the meat and drink of how you create a value proposition that develops products and services that buyers want to buy. So a little bit of framework. We're going to dive through this quite quickly. This is the business model canvas that you might have seen before and referred to in previous sessions. So there's 3 sections here. The desirability, how do your customers want to be reached? Feasibility, can you build it? And then viability, can you do it and make money at it? So we're focusing on this top right section, this desirability section, which is around value proposition, the relationship with your customer, and the customer segment. So taking that and dropping that down, we are going to look at that bit. Here it is in a smaller area. So it's the value proposition canvas is that top right hand corner, and we're looking at the 2 elements of that. So we're drilling down into get a bit of detail. So the left hand side, the square bit, is around the products and services, and in there we talk about pain relievers and gain creators. And on the right hand side, the circle, we talk about customer jobs, customer pains, and customer gains. So we'll look at those in 2 different ways. And this process, which takes a little time to work through, and you need to put a couple of hours aside probably to do this properly, will allow you to move from I think or I feel that this is a good product, or I think I want to sell this, into some evidence-based rational decision making around what you take to market and how. So left-hand side is dealing with the value proposition. The right-hand side deals with customer segments. There's some of the, it is jargon, I'm afraid, but key terms, and we'll unpick those later. Let's get into a live example. So we talk a lot about what are the jobs to be done rather than what are you trying to sell me. So I was in Edinburgh recently. There's beautiful Edinburgh on a sunny day. I think it was the 27th of March 2004, because I think it was the last time it was sunny up there. I know this because I visit my mum often. If I'm down on Princes Street, down on ground level at the bottom of that photograph, but I need to get up to the castle up at the top of that photograph, it's quite a walk. Now, the job to be done is to get me and my family from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill. That's the job. So I got various ways I can do that to get up there. So there we are. We're trying to get up there. Now, the ways we can do that, we could just walk up. Now, if we walk up, we might need, if you think about what we need to do that, we might need a map, we might need good shoes, we might need walking poles if we're feeling ambitious. We might need a backpack to put our lunch in if we're going to take our time doing it. It's not that long a walk. At the bottom there, we might take a bus. Let the bus take the strain, in which case, who's providing the bus and the bus services? Or we could go old school and use the donkey, maybe the one from Shrek, complete with a Scottish accent. So, bit of a daft example, but the job to be done is to get me and my family from sea level, if you like, from Princes Street, all the way up to the castle. Now, I have choices there on how I get that job done. I can walk, take a donkey, or the bus. So you start to think about, as a buyer, I've got options. Now, if you're just selling donkey rides, how do we know that donkey is going to be the right option here? How do we shape that proposition? So let's take another example. These are the Kelpies, a fantastic thing. If you're ever near Falkirk, go and see them. But if I've just taken a photograph and they photograph nicely. Now, what do I do with that photograph? What are the jobs I might want to do with that photograph? So here's the list of things that I might want to do. I might want to edit it into a kind of a talking GIF. I might want to just send it to my mum. I might want to print it out and send it to my mum because I know she's not that great with a mobile phone. I might want to say, "Oh, look how clever I am taking this photograph. Please hire me as your horse photographer." Now, they are all different jobs that need done based around a photograph. Now, I can use lots of tools to do those different jobs, and all these. I mean, there's thousands in the market. I've just picked up the prettiest logos. So, do I just use the iPhotos or my iPhone to send them on? Is Instagram with all its filters? Is that what I need to do? do photo box. I turn that photograph into a series of photographs and create an album that gets posted. Um, you see, there's numbers of ways I, as a buyer, can use different tools to get different jobs done. And I'm not fussed about who does it for me. I'm fussed about what the job is that needs done and who can do that job. So my choice of supplier depends on who's the best fit for the job. So we need to focus on the job rather than the persona or the product. And that helps us show how certain features or aspects of the product you're offering are only useful for certain jobs. So Instagram and its funny filters are no use if I want to print a photograph and send it to my mom. So what that helps us do when we strip that down is say, actually, your product today out in the market is just reaching your selling. Buy my health services, buy my marketing, buy my chairs, whatever it might be. But actually, the job to be done is much broader. And on the right side, you see we can unpick that by looking at both the functional aspects and also the emotional aspects. So functionally, I need to walk the family to the top of the hill. Emotionally, if I've got small children, I want to do that without upsetting them. I don't want crying children. So for me, the bus is definitely better than walking, but actually the donkey would be a real hoot and give some bragging rights. And that adds to the social dimensions and the personal dimensions. So all of that is about replacing the user story. Who is it I'm selling to? I want to sell to the council. I want to sell to Heathrow. It's what is the job that needs done? Okay, they need collapsible chairs that they can store easily. Aha, I'm in the chair business. Can I shape my product to meet that need? So when we start working through the jobs to be done, these are some of the considerations. I'm not going to read all this out. We're already charging through the hour that's allotted, and I've just got to keep the pace up. So it's just a little reminder. The book is called Value Proposition Design, and it's from Strategizer, and it's very easy to work through. So you get the detail there. But at a high level, what are the jobs to be done? So how do we think about the jobs to be done? So can we address more than one job? Can we look at how our product is used and get customers to use it in a different way? Can we move beyond a job of, right, I need to seat 20 people at short notice regularly, and so I need to be able to find seats I can quickly pop up, into what else helps with that? Is there a clever way of designing them? Do the seat backs look like planes because I want to sell these to Heathrow? Whatever it might be. The other side is if you think about the job, can we help more customers to get the job done? How do we sort of democratize our product, if you like? Can we get the job done in a slightly better way? So folding chairs, people always kind of catch their hands, and they stack, and then the stacks fall over. Can we create a unit that stops people catching their hands, and you can hang them up easily and wheel 10 chairs folded up around at a time? And is there a way of getting the job done radically better? Which is, right, don't have chairs. We're going to use magnetic levitation, where clients just press the button and they sit and hover in midair and no chairs are involved. Coming soon, I think. So how do we go about getting into the granularity? Let's get moving from the theory of this into your product, your value proposition. So here's where we have to kind of get out the paper and pens or the post-it notes. I'm trying to think. I keep one, but I keep a little canvas beside my desk typically. So what is it your ideal customer is trying to get done? So think about that in terms of what is the outcome they're looking for. So when this thing happens, what do they get? So back to my seating example is, I need that room set up so people can sit in it. The outcome is there's a comfortable place that's set up quickly and taken down quickly, and people have a good experience doing that. or I get my family to the castle. That's the outcome without children crying, ideally, and even better with a smile on their face. So these jobs can be split into a number of ways. You can have functional jobs. So that's a specific task, getting from A to B, or solving a particular problem, reaching this kind of audience or community. So maybe you need to meet to reach into the Bangladeshi community. How do you, with an important health message, how do you solve that problem? How do you reach? How do you get more elderly people digitally engaged? These are sort of broad problems that have potential multiple solutions, but they're the job that need done. So it's the functional jobs, what needs done, but there's also the social aspect of jobs. So how do people look cool doing things? So your seats example, having magnetic levitation. Wow, how cool is that? And how cool are you if you're the person that signs off to procure that brings magnetic levitation seating into airport terminals for the first time? The last bit is around personal and emotional jobs. So how can I do something that's reliable? How can I do something that works, that either makes me look great as the person procuring those services? Wow, everyone's talking about that. We look really good because we've got this. Or wow, the design of those chairs was amazing. It just, and that really helped us in how we show up in front of our public and our peers. There's personal and emotional aspects to that. So you can start to list those out. So what is the job to get done? What is the type of job that it is? Is it a functional job? Is it a social job? And then how often does it occur? So think about the jobs you are helping your customer to get done. So you might just want to take a minute now and start jotting down the jobs your potential customers need done. Whether you provide the solution today or not, but start thinking about what your customer needs. What are the jobs that they need done? So you can do this on your phone, on a sheet of paper. I like to use colored Post-its. You've got sort of one job per Post-it. And I'd encourage you as we work through, there's a number of exercises. We'll stop for a little minute just to allow you to start to work through this one. But through this session, there are a number of opportunities to stop and take 5, 10, 20 minutes and work through these exercises. Because just doing the exercise will start to open up your mind to the possibilities and look at what you really can do differently. So we're tracking on time all right, but I'm going to move on from there. So hopefully you've got the first 2 or 3 down. Get all of them down. Really be creative. Think about this. We want to go for a walk and concentrate on this and then come back and get everything down. Whatever works for you, but be creative to start to capture these. Once you've got all those Post-it notes or your column, this is the way you can then use these sliders, if you like, to work out how to rank those jobs, first of all, by importance. So what is it really important to the client of that or less important? And that starts to help you shape a hierarchy of those jobs. That's the first slider, if you like. Now, you're going to see this methodology unfold over the course of the session. So first of all, I kind of explain what the segment is. This is about customer pain points. So what it is about those jobs that annoys or irritates or bugs your customer, either before they commission it, while it's going on, or afterwards. So, if you're commissioning cleaning services, that's quite a high turnover market. Will they turn up? Won't they turn up? Do you dread the phone call from the head teacher going, the cleaners didn't turn up again today? Or is it that cleaners came today, but they've not done a good job, and I've got a health and safety problem now because they've left an oil slick in the cafeteria, whatever it might be. So think about what the negative side around these jobs. What is people are looking to not have done? So what are the undesired outcomes and characteristics? What are the obstacles that prevent them doing? What are the risks, particularly to someone sitting in a big organization? They are typically quite risk averse because they don't want the people who have the finger pointed at them. So, well, you hired these people, it's on your shoulders. So what are the risks, obstacles, and the undesired characteristics of these jobs that are there and that you can address? Again, you list those out, or you post-it note those out, and you go back and you rank them from really severe to quite moderate. And this starts again to organize your thinking and your thoughts. So we've done the jobs, we've done pains, and now we do the same exercise with gain. So a gain is a benefit, an upside. So functional utility, isn't that kind of a bit of a jargon word? So these are things that the first example, if I'm using a phone, I just need to, it needs to be able to make a phone call apart from anything else. Or if you're under 20, it needs to be able to send a chat. So the things you just have to have. But there's also things like, again, back to the phone example, you might want it to look good. And then Apple's great about the desired stuff, which is being able to touch one phone to another and transfer information. That's kind of quite cool. And that sort of tips into the unexpected things. What can you offer that clients weren't expecting, but adds a bit of magic, adds a bit of sparkle, makes them feel happy, saves them some money. What are the gains that you can offer? So if you've got a list of those gains, either handwritten list or a phone or a laptop or ideally by post-its, get those all written out. What are the gains I offer? Peace of mind, guaranteed this, done with style. And then drop all those into this third row, the relevance. So if you look at those customer gains, how relevant is it to the customer? So again, the really relevant ones go at the top, but just the nice to haves go at the bottom. And that starts to shape what your value proposition could look like in terms of from the customer perspective. Now, if we take that information, most businesses fail because there's no market need or perceived market need for what they sell. So you have to make a connection between your product and your buyer's need. Getting the alignment is up to you. That's what market fit is about. So that's when you address important jobs, alleviate extreme pains, and create essential gains. When you get that, you're in business. So that's why it's worthwhile going back and doing the work that I've hurtled through at great pace. So let's take that concept of market fit, and we've got a tool coming up just to help you work out how to get there. So not all products and services have the same significance to your customers. So from one buyer of healthcare service to another, they'll have different priorities. Some will want reliability, number one. Some will want high levels of skill. Some will want particular language abilities or particular skills. It'll differ, and you need to understand that. So it's only that relationship between the product and services and your specific customer segments, their jobs, pains, and gains. That's what you've got to get lined up. So we're going to look at the types of products and services: tangible, intangible, digital, financial. And what we're going to do first of all is just go through what those products and services are. So list out all of your products or potential products and services. So what do you provide that's tangible? A manufactured product? Do you provide a seat? Do you provide a bus or a donkey? Is it intangible? Is it a piece of software? Is it a help desk? Is it counseling? Is it sales support? And do you provide that digitally? Is it an online or an offline experience? If you do it online, could you do it offline? Could you switch offline to partly online? And is there a financial element? Can you finance? Can you switch from selling outright to licensing or part finance or easy terms or buy one get one free, whatever it might be? What are the products, services that you can list out, that you can offer to your customer segment that they will see as valuable. Again, you know the drill here. So once you've built your list, and really do take time to think about that, you need to rank those. So what are the products and services that are essential to your customer, and what are the nice to have? So rank them all out. Again, in terms of the products and services, we're now going to look at that in terms of what your product does to relieve the customer's pain, that specific customer's pain. So how are you going to do that? How do you get rid of those things? So do you do it better? How do you do it better? Do you do it cheaper? How do you do that sustainably cheaper and at no compromise to quality? Do you make something simpler? Do you make something less embarrassing? Do you use a very simple form of software, or do you take something offline so there's no cybersecurity risk? What are the things that the way you relieve pain? So get those listed down. What it is that your products or services do to address specific customer pain points. What is it that you offer? How is it that you take that pain away? Again, once you've got that list out, and remember, you've got to go back and focus on those pains that you identified the first time round when you're looking at the customer profile. Go back and just work through how you relieve that pain. So this is all about creating something that procurement wants to buy. So what are the ways you do that? And then let's get that all listed out. Rank those pains by how valuable they are to the customer. Again, essential at the top, nice to have at the bottom. Same kind of exercise. So lastly, in this little section, let's talk about the gain creators. So what is it that you do in terms of your products or services that gives the customer a win, a gain, an upside? Now, again, on the right-hand side, does it create savings? Is it better quality? Is it faster to learn? Is it more fun to learn? Does it make them look good somehow? Does it meet something that they specifically look for? Lifetime guarantee, 5-year guarantee. Does it have something included that you wouldn't expect to have included? Is there higher performance? You know, do the folding chairs, do they live forever? Are they maintenance free? Do they stack nicely? All of those things. All of those things. So again, create the list and then drop them into this sort of slider chart. So rank them by how relevant those gains are. If they're essential to the customer, they go to the top. They're nice to have, put them to the bottom. Okay, quick break. Conscious I've left you with lots of homework there to go back through all 6 of those exercises and get them all ranked and use these sliders to start to get a sense with what you have. Please do take some time to go and do that. Clear the desk for a couple of hours. Find a good space to go and work through this. You will find some real insights in there because you will start to get a clear idea of what market fit could look like, which means more sales for your business. So here's the summary sheet, if you like. Once you've done all that work, drop in what the top ones are for each of what are the key products and services in terms of the jobs to be done, what are the pains and gains there on each side. So get that all fitted out. What customer problems do we solve? What jobs do they have that we can help with? So what are we offering? What do they need done? So on the left-hand side, what are our products and services? How do they relieve pain? How do they create gain? And how does that map across to what the customer needs done? How is the customer how is the customer better off by engaging with us? That's the value proposition that achieves market fit. So here's the 5-step summary. So go back and look at the value proposition canvas, those 2 sets of 3 things. So the design and the observation piece. Use one customer segment for each. So don't mix grit and ice cream, as they say. Do that for each customer section separately. Don't mix the two. It's a bit of a school child error. Look at each of those customer segments independently. So be really honest about what that segment is. Don't decide what your customer profile is because this is what I sell, therefore somebody must be around to buy it. Clearly, the easy thing to do is the functional job. I need my school classroom cleaned. That's and I need that done in the morning before everyone arrives. So that's the functional job. Now, but what are the social and personal and emotional aspects of that? Can it be done, with a smile? Could it be done securely? Could it be done regularly? Is there an extra system in place to make sure it does get done, and every classroom gets photographed and sent? So there's a visual log of how sparkling the floor is. Focus on those bits as well as the pure functional side. And this is critical. The point of doing this, and particularly with post-its, is not every customer pain and gain can be addressed by what you have. Focus on the ones that you can help with, because that's where you get alignment, where you get a great value proposition. Okay, I'm just going to pause there for a second, just on that design, the value proposition design summary page. So those are the steps you need to go through. I would encourage you to take some time and go through these, get the ranking done, and you will start to get insights about how you can shape how you talk about your product, how you pitch your product, how you create the proposition that meets the jobs the customers want done, adds to their gains, and takes away their pains. So be very methodical working through, and I guarantee you will find insights about what you do and how you do it, and it will reshape and make you much easier for someone to buy. Next section coming up. So let's this next section is about how you apply that value proposition work. So sales enablement is the link between marketing and selling. So this is what helps you move into exposing your products and services as you redefine them into the market. So you want to get the right products and services wrapped up in the right way in front of the right customer in the right time, which is when they are ready to buy. And again, there'll be different sales cycles. Some people will be planning 3 years ahead. Some it's spur of the moment or reactive, but you have to know that. So this is all about linking your prospecting, your finding clients activity, and converting those clients into sales, into customers, into new contracts. So this is all about achieving that market fit and getting converting that into revenue. So the phrase that we keep coming back to here is this concept of situations reveal needs. So what is the customer need, and how do you make sure the customer understands they've got a need? What are the situations they'll recognize? What's the moment that will trip them over? So that could be one of the triggers or the events or the occasions. So is that often it's somebody new in the job. So tools like LinkedIn can tell you when somebody has changed job in the last 90 days. You can look at industry journals, even papers, newspapers, local papers might have people new in position and doing things in a different way that might be a trigger for them to say, well, actually, I know you're new in the job. Did you know that your predecessor didn't recognize this need, but you can, and this is how you resolve it. Looking at contract databases to understand when contracts come to an end. Those are available for Brent and other councils. Are you keeping an eye on that? Say, oh, actually, in September, this thing's come to an end. They must be in the middle of a procurement process now. How do I get in front of the right person? And then things like regulatory changes. So if you look at the macro environment, we know that in April we've got tax and national insurance changes. and they're going to make it more difficult for the hospitality sector to employ part-time staff. Now, if you've got a robot bar person product, now's the time to be hitting the market, saying you can't afford extra staff. So here's a robot that pours pints, whatever it might be. So you see how you've got to kind of be opportunistic. You've got to spot the moments that cause a change in context. So the surround of how people are making those decisions, what's the lens they're looking through, rather than just doing the same thing, same thing. So here's a quick exercise, just take a minute now, which is looking at your potential clients. What might trigger that need? Is it a change of HR manager? Is it a change of a tax or a legal change of some kind? Is it the need for more DBS checking in employees, and you've got a great system for that? What's the moment that changes things? So just take a moment just to trigger down, just jot down what those triggers might be. Take a minute now to do it. Come back later and spend some proper time on this, but just get the top of mind ones out just now. Now, this is a very useful one actually to come back to every month. So you want to, once you do it fully and properly, and keep that somewhere, that list somewhere, ideally online or a note or a Google sheet somewhere, and then stick something in your diary every month just to spend half an hour going back and looking at that list and seeing what's popped up, what's changed, what else might you add, because that will give you some thoughts. So, oh, interesting, I should pick up the phone, I should drop an email, I should send a letter, I should ask somebody to make an introduction. I should maybe be talking about this. If I see this event coming up, I should maybe have something to say on this and see if I can find an opportunity to talk at a local event, a chamber of council breakfast, just so people understand that I know about this stuff that's coming down the path. So when the trigger happens, they know to come to me to find out more about it. Really powerful, this notion, because it moves you out of just the day-to-day turning the handle, and it starts to help you to be that bit more agile and ready to take advantage of shifting circumstances, which is the point where needs are revealed by those changing situations. So this is all about linking these things together with the value proposition work. You've worked through what the ideal client is and how you get them the outcome that they want through the pains and gains analysis. Linking that to a situation gives that sales moment. That's the moment where it becomes obvious to them, which is, wow, I am the ideal. I am the client. I'm the person you're here to serve. You understand what the outcomes are that I need. You understand my pains and gains, and I can see that your product addresses those gains and sorts out those pains. And I'm in the moment where I'm in a situation where that all becomes essential for me to do, and I need to make that purchasing decision. Sometimes that's really clear when that situation will be. It's a 3-year procurement cycle. You need to know when that's coming up, and you need to be in the race. Sometimes it's just really opportunistic. The news yesterday had a ghastly diesel spill in South London, where a local river's become polluted. Now, if you're in cleanup services, they're scrambling for that. So that's the ability to know who you might sell those services to and get hold of them and say hi. We do work with lots of councils or lots of transport companies. So you're an ideal client. We know about the outcome you need. You need this stuff taken out of the water. That's what we do. And you've got a situation. Now's the time. Press go, engage us. Or it might be if you think the London Borough of Culture. So that's about to move on, I think, from I think I'm right, from Brentford into Wandsworth. So they're just about to announce their calendar for the year. Now, once that announcement comes out, how do you know there's going to be a whole bunch of cultural activities. What does that require? Well, that requires venue spaces and lighting services and so on and so on and so on. That's a situation where you can suddenly offer your services to your ideal clients. So let's start moving to pull all this together. So this bit about walking in your potential client's shoes, particularly when you move away from perhaps dealing with directly with an owner managed business into a procurement person or a department head. What is it that they want? What is the value proposition that affects them? Where's the balance between gains and pains? Because suddenly, if you're in a corporate or a public sector environment, typically you're more worried about making a mess than the downside than the upside. That's just the equation. So how are you addressing that with your value proposition? How are you making them better off by engaging with you? What are the jobs that they need done? What is the equivalent of that journey up to the castle? The equivalent of what I need to do next with the photograph. Photograph is just a photograph, but that decision of whether to edit it, send it, blow it up to life size, create an album, those are the jobs. And so what are the needs that the clients want to get outcomes for? And we've been through some of these outcomes. So doing it better, faster, cheaper, happier staff, retained staff, at a lower carbon footprint, contributing to community value, social value. You might be helping them sell more. You might be helping them have a better reputation. You might be helping them retain more of their customers. What are those outcomes? And really walk a mile in your potential client's shoes and link that back to your value proposition. So, what jobs is it that your potential client wants to get done? So the homework, if you like, or the continual preparation, you might want to do this depending on your business. Take some time now and in the next month, but also in the next year. Make this an annual thing where you stop and take stock every year, every quarter, up to you. But you have to run through this understanding of the customer's job. So you've got to map the job, use that value proposition canvas process to get those 6 things out and to get them all ranked, and then drop them onto a summary sheet and see how you match. See how you match the gains and pains that the customer have with the pains and gains that your product or services offers. Where is the mapping? What should you stop doing? What do clients not want? So don't bother them with it. That's how you sharpen this up. So work on that solution. Shape your product and services to meet those pains, gains, and those customer jobs. And then once you've done that, the other half of the job is this sales enablement piece. It is about how the customer is better off by engaging with you. How do they know that? So how do you communicate that value to the customers? How do you position your products? How do you position your services? What does that mean? Well, how do you explain to them in language that they use and understand what it is that you do, how you do that, how that creates gains for them, how that takes pains away from them? And where do you do that? For some people, most people today, it starts with the website. I see so many SMEs with very poor product-based websites. Buy me, buy me, buy me. I do this, I do this, I do this. Start thinking about your website as a place where you can set out your value proposition, which is, are you this kind of client? Because we understand you and the jobs that you need done. We address those jobs in a way that takes away these the pains that we know about, and we offer gains that you hadn't even imagined, but would be grateful for. Start to tell that different story on your website, in your social media, in your flyers, in your have 2 or 3 key messages if you're doing media, if you're talking to local journalists, local podcasts, if you've got 2 minutes on your feet at the local chamber, any of these things, start to think about how you position your value proposition. It goes from, hi, I'm Roddy PLC and I sell folding seats, to, hi, I'm Roddy and our business helps large organizations create seating, get large audiences sat in comfort really quickly, and then clear that space out fast for next to no money, whatever it might be. But suddenly you move from I sell seats to I've got a value proposition for a particular market. I don't sell seats, which is why my value proposition is not very strong there. But if you've done the homework, yours will be stronger. So here's what you need to do. This is time for you to make a commitment to yourself. There's some old research about what people do on their deathbeds, and it's not about the things that they did that they worry about, it's the things they didn't do. So make a promise to your future self that write down today, use a slide like this, 3 of your actions that you will do from today, actions you will take in the next fortnight and the next month. Give yourself, write that down. What are the 3 actions? Who is going to do it? Is it going to be you? Are you going to engage with somebody else? Are you going to delegate it to somebody else? But make a contract with yourself to get these things done. Write them down, make that contract. It is so vital to take all this knowledge and the tools you've been provided with today, all that work you're going to do to develop your understanding of who your clients are, the jobs that they need, the gains that they're looking for, the pain they're trying to avoid, and how you can shape what you do in terms of your products and services to address those pains and offer those gains, and wrap that up by finding moments when they need it so that they understand this is the moment I need it. I am the perfect client for this business, and their offer meets exactly what I need. That's really powerful. That has the power to transform your business, transform your conversation, particularly with these large procurers, with large buyers. And that will help you get into the supply chain and help secure your business's future. It'll create lots of opportunity, referral opportunities, future work. It will be transformational, but that only happens if you take action. So can't emphasize enough. Get your top 3 actions out, get them in the diary, take action, do something with this. It is really powerful if you're able to actually commit and do something with it. So if we reflect back on this, on the program as a whole, this has been a segment here. The next one up is 27th of February about how we develop partnerships. Partnerships, if you understand your value proposition and are able to communicate that clearly to a partner, then the partner will go, yes, I get it, and I can work with you to open up markets for you. So really important for partnerships to do this work too. So there's the Supplier Ready program. We're a long way through it. Just want to pump again this Community Wealth Building Summit and the Meet the Buyer opportunities on 20th of March. Please, please, please get that afternoon in your diary. It's really, really important. It's held at the Civic Centre. You'll get a ton out of it. So register on the Fit to Bid website, fittobid.co.uk, or the Brent Council website. But please do go. The buzz will be amazing. You take fistfuls of business cards and your phone and any kind of collateral you have. In addition to meeting potential buyers and start to make those connections, you'll potentially also meet other partners, and you'll make other SMEs and be able to share experiences and resources. You can share with them how you went through this value proposition exercise and it transformed your business, because suddenly you're able to walk a mile in the buyer's shoes and understand what they were looking for, and we're able to shape your products and services and package them up in a way that was easy for them to buy. That's the nub of it. And that's where the rubber hits the road, is at these events, opening up those conversations, positioning your value proposition to the likes of Brent Council, to Heathrow and Old Oak Common and so on. All these webinars and the bid skills workshops, they're all available on the Brandwin YouTube channel and on the Brent Council website as well. Please do go back and use these as a resource. Go back and you can watch them on fast forward and slow motion. I'm conscious I've hosed you down today with a fire hose of information, but please do go back, slow it all down, go through these exercises, get your post-it notes out, work through it methodically, if I can say that word. Work through it methodically, and that will really help shape your value proposition, as indeed will all these previous workshops around bid writing and tenders and so on. I think most of you will know that you can access one-to-one mentoring. That's really powerful. I've really enjoyed doing that. Just been working with 40 SMEs across the Wandsworth, and we quite quickly get into the issues of the business and start to shape that. It is an hour of your time. It is phenomenally valuable. Tracy, who runs these, is brilliant. You will get value. So please, please, please get signed up for these. You get an action card to record everything. The value is in that conversation, having someone really experienced looking at your business and helping you develop an action plan. Brandwin's also created a whole playbook of resources, a digital playbook, has all these things around guidelines and checklists and templates. We know that putting together bids and submissions is quite daunting and can be quite time consuming. So we've worked really hard to make that really easy and addressable for you. So please go to the Fit to Bid website, access these resources, and use that as the reference when you're going through the tender process. So in the big scheme of things, get into the skills program. This is part of it. Tracy's delivering the one-to-ones. You can access that through the Brent Council website. You can access that through Fit to Bid. Book your one-to-one advice session, and then find your tenders, get your expressions of interest, develop your winning bid, go and meet these large procurers, and particularly do so at that Community Wealth Building Summit on the 20th of March. Phew. That takes us through the process. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Good luck developing your value proposition. Good luck understanding your sales enablement process and creating one of those for your business. And good luck putting all that together and taking your value proposition out to market to meet those buyers and meet their needs, their gains, and their pains. I'll hang around for a couple of minutes to answer any questions, but that's us done for today. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Good luck.